Well,
Dizon.
for those of you who doesn't know me, I'm Philip Dizon, and one of the things I do is that I'm a photographer. I've had a studio for the past 40 years now, so it's been an awesome journey altogether, and I'm so happy right now. I'm here with my team in Baguio, and with my son particularly too, really trying to be involved with the Phildiz Studio Corporation. So we're having a fantastic time here all together. What do you think of this past 2 days attending an orphanage and fundraising for them here in Baguio?
Well, obviously, since we're helping the kids, since we're doing so much, that's what's most important. I was reading The Greatest Salesman in the World, and one of the reasons why he became so successful was all of his profits every year, even if it increased, he would half those net income profits and donate that. And actually, that's the reason why he became so successful. So
Amazing.
I think that's Mr. Beast did the same thing. Maybe that's why he became so successful. It's the good vibes. What exactly is your art or style as an artist in landscape and the rest?
Well, in landscape photography, I think at the end of the day, it was really my falling in love with nature altogether. First and foremost, I spent my youth here in Baguio. Perhaps that's where I really found myself falling in love with nature. And when I did study in Colorado for high school for a short while, I remember it was very picturesque. Colorado is very nature as well. If you're a nature lover, it's certainly something to fall in love with, and to be able to capture it. And I think the best medium that no medium can match, which is still digital photography. I mean, painters do a good job at doing that as well, but with digital photography, I think it's the best medium to capture it with such fidelity no other medium can match. And my style is as simple as capturing it as I see it. And one thing about landscapes and nature photography is you can't really control how the weather will be like, so you just do the best you can with the technology that we have with the digital camera
And adapt.
and adopt. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience because you have to trek, climb in different kinds of locations. Sometimes very unforgiving, locations where the weather is not the most conducive, like -25, sitting being on top of frozen lake at
Wow.
-25 early in the morning, waiting for sunrise. For the sunrise, that's if you're not totally for the type of trekking, it'll be a very difficult fit for you.
Now I'm curious then, how difficult would it be, or how would one would be able to purchase some of your landscapes, or have an appointment with you?
Well, right now, one of the things that we're trying to do is to make our website a little bit more e-commerce, so that people can readily order from there. And we do intend, by the way, this year we're hoping to have a new studio in a commercial area, so that it will also be a gallery at the same time. And I'm hoping to have I haven't discussed it with you, but it's ongoing podcast channel at that. So we're pursuing that as well. It's part of the storytelling we want to have, right?
Yes.
It's part of creating the legacy of talking about the legacy of other people, the different matriarchs and patriarchs of families. That was fundamentally the thing I thought that would be a very good thing to share, especially to the generations to come. If we can share the different values and principles of and strongly held beliefs of certain families, why they are happy and successful in life, then I think those are vital things to be able to pass on to other people,
Not
and
only
hopefully get inspired in the process.
they get inspired, they share their unique, art, their own self, their energy, bring it out for the world, and that's our masterpiece that we're telling their story, as we have been reiterating. What else is the vision and mission of Phildiz Studios? You see yourself outside of what we just mentioned? A lot of the things you are doing, a lot of things, what does the team want to do together?
Well, one of the beautiful things that happened to me with the studio since way back then, it was always the basis was always my passion and my love for doing the art, the photography in general. Back in the day, during the film days, it was more challenging. But of course, that's one advantage the studio has right now, because we come from that generation where you really had to know about the basics of photography, and from there, now we talk about audiovisual. It's still cinematography that you're talking about, and the fundamentals of that is the composition of what a photograph is. Talking about lights and shadows and composition and things like that. So that's one of the strengths that we have, and if we can do more of this type of services for others and share what we know, I think that will be a very vital thing to do for others as well.
I totally agree. Like those moments with my cousins, when we document the day from we have a Dizon database, and we document all of these different adventures and memories and birthdays and situations. As we document them and we look back 1 year, 1 month, a few years, several, maybe a decade, I don't know if we've reached that yet, but there's a certain feeling of nostalgia, of like, wow, those moments, even though I was bored recording it, or I had a different emotion when I was there, but I was so grateful to be able to see that again. And for me, being a part of Phildiz, that's definitely what I want to share with all of you, is that feeling of nostalgia, the feeling that what we went through was memorable and important. So
At the end of the day, it's I love what you just mentioned. In conjunction with that, it's really to begin with, from my point of view, it was my journey, and I was always sentimental about life, where it passes by like a breath, right? And to be able to have some kind of a journal to capture those different stages and different chapters of your life was something I always wanted to immortalize and capture. And this is with photography, you can't go wrong. And if looking back in my travels, especially with our family, was able to document this and come up with some kind of a journal out of all of these things with photography, it's awesome to look back at it and look at it and say, hey, this is our past. And if we can do that for other people, that's one of the main reasons why we should indeed have those services that can capture professionally, documenting, trying to do a journal of the different stories of different families and their legacies. And like you've mentioned earlier, we're here to create their story, their legacy, which should be the masterpiece altogether of the team telling their story altogether. One of the main thrusts we're doing right now is to promote my fine arts photography, right? My travels all over the world and taking landscape photography. And last night was one of our first minor exhibit. And we intend to do more of that here in Hotel Manor and in Forest Lodge.
first of all, I'm so proud to be contributing to society, to be able to do something, not only for helping hands, not only for Baguio City, not only for our country and the world as we travel and, promote tourism with all these beautiful landscapes and portraitures and sharing the story, because it's about your story, your legacy, our masterpiece together.
The new products we're trying to launch right now is to come up with a high-end portraiture and a legacy audiovisual, and of course with the photographs as well, right? Capture the different stories of different people in both our portrait photography and audiovisual as well. And I think that's one of the reasons I really came back and decided to revive our studio, since I got involved with another industry, as you know. One of our family corporations is in a totally different industry, right? And one of the reasons I decided to pursue it again and revive the studio is because of that. To be able to tell the story for other people and share it with others that perhaps could give them inspiration and tell their story. I think everybody has a unique story to tell altogether at the beginning. I mean, to tell their story at the end of the day, and everybody has a good story to tell.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about that nowadays. Like, People are interested in people. It's not about these big offices and brands, and you're imagining these corporations. We're here to learn about stories, but not just only for brands, but also for people. Like, what's your story? What are you doing in life? Are you graduating? Why? What brought you through, or helped you persevere through everything and all these difficulties of school or student loans or whatever else they have to deal with around the world, right? It's very, very difficult, but they have a story. They went through challenges, and now they're succeeding or not, or whatever stage they're at. It's still a beautiful story to hear and to share to the world. What makes us different for our storytelling?
That's a very good question. Well, it's actually, of course, at the end of the day, I think historically we've been here for a long time, a few decades at that, as a studio.
Since 1983.
And, since 1983, when it was first conceived, all the way in California, actually. And now, after almost 40 years at that, we're still here. And with that kind of a background, I think we're able to, master our crafts altogether. And we have the medium. It's the right medium right now. It's very popular, right? The digital camera to cover and to tell stories of people, both in stills and in audiovisual. Well, the other services that we are going to start promoting more heavily these days would be my landscape photography, my travels all over the world. And hopefully a lot of people will be able to appreciate the places I go to and how I took the photographs. And it's a work of art. It wasn't so easy climbing up different mountains from different places in different regions of the world. And it was a beautiful experience. I just want to share what I'm able to capture. These are very good God-given opportunities that I have to capture nature in its utmost beauty, and with the professional way of doing digital photography, I think I was able to successfully do that.